Don't compromise, just use your eyes. Take a look inside the millennial mind. Millennial mind.
Welcome to the Millennial Mind. You may call us lazy and entitled, but it is time you start to understand the millennial generation and break free of the negative stereotypes. Get the knowledge you need to attract, retain, and engage the millennial generation to take them from entitled to engaged. And who better to tell you this than two actual millennials? That's right. We are millennials here. I'm Garrett Wagner, your Entrepreneurial CP channel host, and I'm here with the man who can do it all. He can entertain, he can dance, he can rap, he can sing, he can even be the future bachelor. Drew Carrick, the rapping CPA. Now, are you ready to hear the truth from us about the millennial mind? Today, we're going to talk about what are the 6 millennial traits that defines who we are as a generation. We're going to talk about what it means and why we're so civic oriented. So, Drew, before you run off away on The Bachelor to Paradise Island or wherever they film those shows, you become an internet sensation. Let's talk about millennials. Why are we as a generation so civic oriented?
I think a lot of it has to do with the experiences that we've had growing up. Our childhoods are different than the childhoods of our parents, which is different than the childhoods of their parents. There's a reason that the greatest generation, those were the ones that fought in World War II, are called the greatest generation, and just from the hardships that they had to face as they sort of grew up and whatnot. And our lives and our childhoods have been built around technology, but it's also the part of the technology has given us insights and new information that wasn't accessible. We're seeing about hardships that happen in Africa. We're seeing images of the planet from outer space and understanding the impact on the environment that perhaps some of our actions are causing. And so now the triple bottom line and sustainability is something that we're being educated about when we go to college and when we're in school. And we're carrying that forward with us, not just because we learned about it, but we have a genuine interest in making the world a better place because we want to make it better for our kids. And we're anticipating what the future is going to be like and what we could do to make it better. So right tying into that is, of course, your career and your job. And you want to be at a company where there's a mission that's identifiable that you connect with. And you can have different opinions and different political views and sort of thoughts on and ideals, but if you at least can find a company that aligns with your sort of mentality, then you're going to feel a deeper connection, and it's rooted in that sort of sustainability and civic duty that you have to making the world a better place.
Yeah, you said it exactly. It's part of it is the world is so globally connected now. We can see everything, from our phones at a very young age. We can see stuff happening around the world. It's not just like my parents would say, every once in a while there'd be a commercial that came on about, the kids starving in Africa. And we kind of go, we can see that real time and even more reality on a regular basis. And like you mentioned, the environment and sustainability as well. We see all those things and they're coming to the forefront. And some of it is just, it's also we've learned as a society as we evolve and we go as a generation, we all learn more, we all get smarter. And that's why the standard IQ is always increasing. Because we're learning as a planet, as a species, and a generation how to do these things. And for us, for me specifically, as a millennial, my parents taught me a lot about encouraging me to be active in the community and support those around me, those who are less fortunate. And I think a lot of us in this millennial generation, we heard that from our parents or our grandparents. They said, give back to the community. Give back to the community. Make an impact on the community around you. Then we couple with what you saw, we see the more struggles around the world. We say, yes, I want to give back. I feel a deep desire in me to give back to my community. And that's a great thing. So for companies out there, so I think we can all agree on that. Millennials feel that way. Drew, how can companies leverage that better to attract, retain, and engage millennials?
Well, one of the things that was at the top of my mind as you were talking about that is the new renewed focus on business ethics. Whether you want to talk about Enron or like Wolf of Wall Street type, stuff that kind of goes on. everybody has that sort of like, id, as Freud would say, of that inner desire to kind of, go be this absolute tycoon. But the sense of community that a company can sort of provide by being part of the sort of local atmosphere. I mean, I think about all these businesses that are like, buy local and support local businesses. And millennials are doing that. We're being part of those people who are making our purchases locally because we're trying to help those small businesses because we understand the importance of community. So any company that you work for, I think if these companies go out and they show that they are community oriented and they're hosting events at the local brewery, or they're taking you to shop locally at local shops, or if you're by the water, perhaps doing a beach cleanup on a weekend and whatnot, restoring local parks. It shows that they care about the community and they care about the employees' desires to help the community as well. And that's sort of one of the main things that I think that they can connect on and follow through on that civic commitment that they make.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things you said I want to expand upon is ethics. Ethics. It's something that we shouldn't have to talk about ethics, right? In the ideal world, we shouldn't have to talk about ethics in the accounting profession, but we do need to. A lot of firms aren't very ethical. We've seen multiple frauds inside CPA firms, discrepancies, problems, and that's a big issue. We've got to be better about as a profession of having that higher ethical standard, because it goes hand in hand with community service, with being civic oriented. I mean, we might hold ourselves to a higher standard. And like you said, like, it's not just about like necessarily doing just pure nonprofit events with millennials. That's a great way to give back and show them how to make a connection there. But also like shopping locally. That's a big part, and kind of that micro brew phase and local organic. That speaks to us. We enjoy that. We enjoy that kind of, you're pulling all those pieces together. It's civic oriented, it's local focused, it's sustainability, all those things that were impacted when we grew up. Reach out to us. So yeah, if you're at a firm, do that. Do some of those things locally, make that connection. I'm sure they can even bring in some more interesting food mix instead of like a generic bagel tray.
Yeah. I think it also speaks to the millennial entrepreneurial mindset too, because in the same way that we're entrepreneurial in our careers and trying to grow and learn and take advantage of opportunities, we're trying to help and give back and support our fellow millennials or any generation who's off doing something entrepreneurial. They're starting a business. They're starting a convenience store. They saw your friend wants to open up a bar. They want to start a clothing line, and you want to support them because you want to do the same thing yourself. I know that when I created South Shore Styles as a sort of apparel clothing brand to represent the South Shore of Long Island, I did that because I wanted something that I felt connected to, that I could be proud of. And when I see other Long Island apparel and style stuff, I feel connected to it because I'm proud of them for doing that as well. And so I think if the company shows that they have that sort of commitment to local and to the community, which community philosophically is just such an important thing, you really have a strong bond that you create with your employees.
Yeah, and to tie it back to like, I'm a CPA firm, I'm a business, I want to make money. Yeah, if you can get your millennials more involved with the community, that's networking, that's business development. Mm-hmm. There's that secondary benefit to you as a firm and organization is they're building those connections, they can network and build relationships. So it's twofold, it's a win-win. So think about that, your company, your firm, organization. Get more involved in the community, civic oriented, leverage that millennial trait, layer in the business development. It's going to be success for everybody. If you got questions on how to do that, reach out to us. We'd love to chat. We'd love to talk to you about that. Now, if you also got your own opinions and thoughts on millennials, if you don't agree with everything we said today, take part in our millennial survey. No matter what age, we want your input. There's a link below, all the social media posts. Click it, take the test. It won't take very long. We appreciate the data and the results it provides. That is all the time we have for today. Thank you for hearing us talk about millennials and why we're so civic-oriented. If you want to get more updates, click the link, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And as always, we challenge you, take action today to change the world and invest in yourself.